Hello, Jake Light here, gaming lawyer at your service. We are back again with Great Ace Attorney. Finally. I like this drama. Better than Sherlock Holmes. I'm gonna repeat that. I don't like that guy. Any case, we'll see what's happened now. What's gonna happen? Alright? Alright. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened. Miss Susato, I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. But who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear. A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGill was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGill actually? There are so many things I need to ask about him. Ask him about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? What was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk. What possible benefit to herself? There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night and at a fare of 5 pence each. It comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers, which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. Why do I make them sound like that? The trial will commence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go straight away. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial. We'll know soon enough, Miss Susato. Yes! So excited for a murder trial, Susato. Right. DC. It's the girl. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. Must have been the one who had caused the disturbance before. Well, after the rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zix. My lord. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which failed proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious, the army! What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand. Your name, girl. Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? Talk! Speak! Blah blah blah. If I may, my lord.
Yes, Mr. McGilden.
I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why is it that this wee lass here was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that? It's all tied up with the events of that night, so it is.
Very well, Mr. McGilden. Give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Just what did happen that night. It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. A young girl. A night in question. I took the back seat in an omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, brr! Loud thud and wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on a seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from. Bless me soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding in her wee self away.
I remain somewhat baffled, I confess. But from what I gather on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus, is that correct?
It's exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the fifth passenger, my lord.
Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I've no idea where to start. Ching. Me neither. Took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then a loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I set him up. Then a loud thud and a wee scream. Wee scream. A loud thud, you say, and a scream. Hey, that's right. How can I explain it? It was like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor, having been stabbed? Well now, you remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. When the sound woke me up, I opened my eyes. There was a soul to be seen in the carriage, but it fell on the floor. You didn't see anyone, but at the same moment you did hear a scream.
Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume?
Not above me, my lord. No, those are from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I set him up on the seat across me. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and bless me soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. You say she was hiding herself? Hey, that's right. It was hard to see in the dim lamp's light, but she was all curled up in a wee ball. When our eyes met, well, my heart nearly stopped beating in my chest. You're really overreacting this. Still and all, I pulled her out from under there and set her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chinwag with her. The seat opposite. That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. You sat this young girl next to the corpse, sir? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. Urchin. and while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fella's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and gentleman with a knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witnesses...
In other words, the previous witnesses did not in fact see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the witness was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason.
Hey, my lord. As I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight.
It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused perhaps with this young girl.
After that, of course, for it's a scream from the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled up his horses. I do wonder how you must be feeling, Mr. Naruhodo, being the defense lawyer and yet finding myself as stunned as everyone else at this testimony. Let's just say it's trying. We certainly had precious little time to talk to Mr. McGilded before the trial. We mustn't be dispirited. We must try to learn all the facts we can. When I arrived in London this morning, I didn't see my day panning out like this. Mr. Naruhodo, no grumbling, even in your head. How did you know? Mind reading me? Invading my privacy. I'm guessing I have to press everything. And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty and there was no one on the roof deck either.
You were the first passenger, as it were, I see.
Hey, and that's why I took the back side as I did. It's the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, this is how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about a seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, this is the most uncomfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Press this as well. Wait. Oh, I already pressed that. I press this. You set him up? The victim, you mean? That I did. On the seat across me, as I said, you could plainly see that the poor devil was already gone. You wouldn't even leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? This common courtesy, so it is. So he was lying on the floor when... I find that a little hard to believe. Lord Van Zix, now why would that be? You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Well, no, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business.
The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest.
Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offered them, and some would even see me dead. So I did try, but at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Heavens leave, no! I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. That's the whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes. The scream he says he heard at the same time as he thought of the victim collapsing. To find out where the scream had come from, and bless me, so what did I find? I guess I should press this as well. I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. I did, sir, I did. As far as I can see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well now, 'tis a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside.
Good gracious!
Under your backside? And when I lifted the seat on which I've been sitting, I found there was a wee cubby hole there for storage. Mr. Naruhodo, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence. This would be a very good time to have a look around inside. Should I look through it again? I guess. Let's look through it again. Over here, right? Oops, no. Under the thing. Under. No? Oh yeah. Under. But there's nothing in here. It's totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put a finger on what it is. Wait, there was something here. Oh yeah, there was something here. The girl stole it or something. Yeah, definitely something stolen. That's when I found her. Ah, okay, yeah, press everything. That's it. Something Ace Attorney games don't tell you.
Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl?
Her name is Jenna Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, runs across among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. What?
This girl here, a petty thief? Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer this question. Oh, how dare you! What is the meaning of this? Oh, the girl, she's gone.
Open your eyes. What's a accent here? Is it what you call it again? Shit. Londoner's accent? Not Londoner. Oh crap, what's the accent? I keep forgetting. It's a London accent, I think, or something like that. Oh wait, this is a girl voice. I can't do a deep one. I'm over here. I'm over here.
Good gracious, how?
What's the point in that little sidestep? I know what you lot. Oh hell yeah. I know what you lot are thinking. grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you say, slipped up and got caught on the jaw. She got herself back in a corner, so she knifed the jet. Go on. That's what's in your ear. What's in your ears, ain't it? Bottle water. No, not at all. This is a court of law. We are here to determine the truth, not cast. Oof. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is these fingers. I'm a professional, right? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess, you don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs. Oh, this? Yeah. This was in a bag I lifted the other day. Down there where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, ain't it? I like the pink best.
Ugh, do not wave that thing in my direction again.
So, you admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question. That's alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now. Alright, yeah. It's just like the Irishman said. It's just like the Irishman said. I need to make a higher pitch voice.
The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question.
Alright, if I have to. So I snuck inside the carriage before they hook up the horses, just like always. But it was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to say. I got nothing to show me for me troubles. That night. Oh my god, this is difficult. Apologies, anyone is watching this. I'll tell you, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did, and the scream just came out. It's because the swell found me. He did help me get away, mine. Yes, he let you go.
I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded.
Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she could possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think its demonstration is called for. This is where I was sat there that night. And the cubby hole of which you have spoken is underneath this seat, I presume. Oh, sorry, that was the judge.
Yes, it does appear large, just large enough to accommodate some of the girl's stature.
Aye, but of course, the wee lass was just stuck in there. Because I parked myself on the seat for the duration.
Oh.
So you see, that's why I let the last bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. I could live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent.
Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question.
Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman.
My lord, this fine example of a man cannot be possibly guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir.
One more. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. That easy? I don't think so, right? Kaboom! Now it's the time for the prosecution to do the summation, I guess.
Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty?
Mr. Naruto, this, well, must mean what? It must mean what? That we're victorious. We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
Oh, okay. If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray, do forgive the discourtesy. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in the British judicial practices, where evidence and reasoning should be paramount. Emotion rules the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report.
Good Lord!
The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilder's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat.
What? Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, Consul?
Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend. Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the underseat compartment to be? Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead. Tell the court. You tell the court now, fella. Oh, this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate von Zix.
Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter?
How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? It wasn't empty. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my cause as counsel for the defense, but as far as I remember at least. When I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there was a number of articles inside it. Yes.
Are you sure, counsel?
Bewised! What are you saying now, you deaf da? I thought you were on my side here. What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the man in the sand. Why would you say something to compromise his position? As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand. But it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly as and as honestly as possible. Sorry. Interesting. Tis not at altogether pleasing, fella. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded. Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing my best interests here, lad. Now then. A fella's memory is a curious thing and not altogether reliable. No, the court must consider for the facts. That there cubbyhole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart is, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest to now to admit that you might have been mistaken? Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here?
I should like the jury to weigh on this matter. On this matter, I think.
That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain smooth running of the carriage. The guild should say the omnibuses should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Pepper isn't that irresponsible. That money-lending fleecer and the pickpocks are lying. Okay, that's quick. I can't believe I was nearly taken in. The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, the lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick. Of course it's a trick. Quite so. I must concur here. How many times is the scale gonna tip? With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time. Yes, but every time a different truth it seems. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate.
Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is a matter of outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please.
Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted, almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem. Alright. Just in time, we are out of time. So, thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. We will continue. next time. And I hope to see what's gonna happen. Something doesn't add up. Totally. Something hasn't been spoken yet. I quite in the dark as well. So it'd be interesting to find out what's going on. In any case, take care, stay hopeful, but be critical. Bye bye.